everyone, and welcome to the Code Clarity podcast. I'm Rena.
And I'm Jean. So there was a really interesting poll you put on LinkedIn this week, Rena, about whether agencies should receive code training. And the results show that 90% of those people, so quite a clear majority of people, do think that agencies should receive code training. But there was a bit of difference about whether agencies should do it themselves or whether they should expect their clients, the pharma companies, to train them. Why did you put that up? And tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, the background to it is that we've heard for years, so this is nothing new, about the quality of agencies. We hear it from our clients. We hear moans about the quality of submitted material into the approval system. But more importantly, you and I read, cases that we summarize, and the number of cases that will say it was down to agency error and agency mistake and agency oversight. And I sort of thought there's got to be an easier way for this big vision of making us a more compliant industry to focus on these target areas. So that's why I put the poll up, because I genuinely want to understand what everyone's doing.
Okay. So I've kind of touched on what the results of the poll was, but what about this whole, what's your opinion on who is responsible for training agencies on the code?
So this is a really tricky one, and I don't actually think it matters who is responsible. I think what matters is if the proverbial hits the fan, how do you show that A, you were trained, B, to a high quality, and C, you're not to blame. We would hate for agencies, particularly the ones that we support, to be the reason why a pharma client were found in breach. So I don't think the who matters. I think it's the quality of the training that they receive.
Yeah, and I think, it's very clear, isn't it, from all the cases that have been published, and certainly, like there's going to be tightening up of the wording in the code changes, that it is the pharma companies that are responsible. So when they're badly let down by their agency, it's not the agency doesn't even get named. It's the pharma company that takes the hit.
And I do wonder whether that needs to change. So we put in our comments to the code and consultation that why aren't agencies named like pharma? Would that make the difference? Would that really make them sit up and pull the socks up and go, crikey, we could be named, and that could be a loss in our reputation?
Yeah.
Anyway, why don't we go through our 3 top tips to leave agencies and pharma with what our thoughts are on this area? Number 1, Jean.
So I think the first one is to train your agencies. The PMCPA does expect you to have trained them, and as you've said, they would be looking for evidence of, that could be the difference between a badly let down and a pharma company being found to be sort of, a larger breach of high standards or disrepute if they don't ensure that the agencies that they are responsible for are being trained.
Okay, so that's good. Number 1 being about the PMCPA. Number 2, I think over to agencies. I think it's a very 1980s attitude if you're in an agency still firmly believing that the code isn't really about you and your job is to be creative and push the boundaries and no, it's actually not good enough. In this day and age, anyone in pharma or who supports pharma has to get on it when it comes to being a little bit more savvy with the code. So you just have to do that. Our top tip is get to know the code a bit more. When you know the boundaries, you could be more innovative, bigger, bolder, better within those boundaries.
Yeah, and we've got some really good practical examples of people we work with, haven't we, who have been able to demonstrate that by them knowing the code really well, they've been able to challenge back with their creative ideas and said, this is our idea, and these are what we know you will be concerned about, and this is how we have, mitigated against it and all the rest of it, and that allows them to be even bolder and more creative by doing that. And I think my third one would be. There's a lot of expertise within agencies on things that perhaps pharma doesn't have the expertise on. So, it might be digital, it might be PR, it might be, social media. Why can't we do a 2-way sort of swap of the agency then upskills their clients on something that they're an expert for, which will then allow the clients to understand and be more willing to, take those risks compliantly.
Yeah, because it's all good and well. Everyone's saying, well, we got code training, we got them from an external provider. We know that companies' interpretations are different. So agencies should be asking their clients, can we get trained on your SOPs? Which is the perfect opportunity, as you say, quid pro quo, to say at the same time that we get trained on your SOPs by you, we will offer you training. And that's how partnerships should work, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great.
Thanks,
Sorted that
Dee.
out then. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.